Good luck.
Hey everybody, and welcome to a new episode of the Game Addicts podcast, the only show that the only show that we do that we talk about the video games that we love and play and collect and modern and retro and all that other stuff that I usually say in my intro that I'm out of practice on because we haven't done an episode together in a little while because we have a couple episodes that have been backlogged that we took a break on, and we've had a lot of fun taking that little break and relaxing and playing some games. I'm your host Brando. He's Player 2 Mike. In this show, if this is your first time checking us out, we are available on podcast networks all over the place. iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and we're on YouTube. Why are we on YouTube? Pretty much because we can.
And
like
it's free.
And it's free, you know. I mean, you can just go up there and you can watch us. You can put us up on your TV while you're doing stuff around your house. You know, you can do that stuff. Or if you actually want to sit down and see in person the games and stuff that we buy and collect, because I used to do pickup videos back in the day for the Journey to Comics YouTube channel, and I stopped doing that, and that's pretty much just here where I have it, and I'll open, if like I did on the last episode that we did together, that was the episode 2 episodes ago,
Yeah.
where I had the Persona collectors, and I opened it up and showed everybody, even though it was a little dark, forgot the lights, and but got them this time, were nice and highlighted, and what is the weather like today on the official Game Addicts podcast weather app?
Cold as balls.
What happened? It was like 80 degrees yesterday.
81, and now it's 56.
It was chilly out.
Yes.
I mean, not so bad that you can't walk like to and fro without a jacket, but I don't want to be out in it that long.
Yeah, I wear shorts and a t-shirt, and I was outside in it for 2 hours. Wasn't a good idea.
Anyway, how's it going, Mike?
It's going good. How are you doing?
I'm going pretty good. I've been playing a lot of Mass Effect Andromeda.
I've been playing a lot of Mass Effect Andromeda multiplayer.
We did hook up like the old days and play some Andromeda multiplayer, and got to do that. You asked me to do it again. I think it was on Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday or Sunday. I think it was Sunday.
Was it Sunday?
Maybe. Either one. Doesn't matter.
Which actually is very, very good that we didn't do that because I would have been cut short in doing that anyways because I had to go over for a family emergency.
Yep.
And deal with that on Sunday.
But everything's okay now.
But yeah, everything's fine on that front, and I've been playing a lot of the story mode of Andromeda because I'm getting close to the end. It has been confirmed to me by somebody at work who has beaten the game. I'm getting close.
Right.
I knew I was getting close because I'm just finding out so much stuff that just like there's no way that I'm not finding this stuff out now, being 60-something hours in,
right,
and not getting close to the end. But usually what we start with are some pickups.
Right.
And here lately, I know on my front, which is funny because I really should have started this show like 3 years ago. Because every episode would have been like, look at all this stack, and then half the episode just would have been going through this new games I bought.
Yeah.
But really, I've been slowing down a lot because there's just not a whole lot of, like, don't interrupt me while I'm talking. Best Buy emailing me while I do a show.
How dare they?
They're trying to get me in there to buy stuff.
I stay at Best Buy because I end up buying stuff.
me too.
I stay out of there.
Anyway, yeah, I've really slowed down on buying old games. And then this year, I bought almost all my new games at tax time, like I said before in the past on other episodes. That it's really funny that we're doing a whole thing about, when I say it's a podcast about the games that we play and collect. That is partially true because like we do episodes where we look back on stuff and they're in either mine, yours, or both collections.
Right.
But like new pickups is something that we've actually been able to keep the trend going for the most part because
almost every
time that we do an episode that isn't themed
right
about like our retrospective, we've had something.
Yeah, somebody. One of us has
and
purchased
I only have one, and that is a Dreamcast controller.
Red.
Red. It is red. Ruby red or red ruby. Red Rogue. What?
What?
But this is in the box. This was at our local disc replay, and I like what it says here. Contains Dreamcast controller, instruction manual, color, gray, And they're like, nope. They just use the same box.
There's a sticker.
They use a sticker, and of course they were pretty challenged. They were really money challenged at the time.
Yes.
But the cool thing about it, still in the plastic.
It's actually brand new.
Look at this shit.
So,
This is the first time I've taken that off, by the way. First time that this has been held by me at all.
Probably by anyone, because, funny story, the day that I told you about these...
Look at that. It's still got the little protection. Oh, my gosh.
The day that I told you about these, that one guy passed away that was a retro collector.
Mm-hmm. That's going to be me one day.
And his brother didn't know what to do with any of this stuff, and he wasn't a collector, so he just came to the local disc replay and dumped it all off. So they had every color. They had the blue.
They had the blue, and they had the red, and they had a bunch of gray.
I
think they had a couple other colors.
Right.
I think there's a green.
There was a green.
And
I know that the red, green, and blue were in the box.
Yeah. They had a bunch of them. They had at least 7, I think. Yeah. And actually, when I got this, Caitlin went and picked it up for me because she was coming into town anyway. And then I'm like, it's $10. I want one. Because I only have 2. I only have 2 controllers. I'm having trouble getting this back in the box. I only have.
Underneath.
That's what I'm doing. There we go. I got it. I only have 2 controllers, and I got those when I got the system. I got one with it, of course, and then later on I bought the see-through blue one because blue is like my go-to color. Yeah, that's probably why I'm such a big PlayStation fan. And all the blue. But no, I kid. But I'm a really big blue guy. But when I saw that they had the red, I'm like, I want the red, even if I get none of them else. Right. Because I want to have 4 controllers for it because I got Power Stone. How cool would it be to have like a kind of a just get together and have a night with the guys where we would play a bunch of games that we've never played before. Just kind of like how we were hanging out playing Bomberman that one time. Yeah. Where it was just laid back. We weren't doing anything. We were just playing some Bomberman, and it was actually a lot of fun.
So I have something funny to tell you. Do you remember how you were wanting to buy the Turtles in Time cabinet?
Yes.
There is one for sale right now, in perfect condition. It does not have the side art though. It's just a plain black cabinet. It's been refurbished. $700. That is a really good price. I saw it on our local buy trade sell, and I was like, I have to bring this up during the podcast because I want it, but I don't have $700.
I don't either. We couldn't even team up and get it right now.
Maybe.
No. I got nothing, dude. I'm broke as a joke because I told you.
True. But I just wanted to bring that up.
I mean, I really, dude, I'll be honest with you.
The guy bought it and then never did anything with it and then just selling it immediately.
Like, okay, when it comes to arcade stuff, I grew up and we didn't have arcade around. We had to travel.
Right.
But then eventually we did get an arcade, and that's a game I never got to play in arcade at all. Never got to play that. I mean, I played the Super Nintendo version growing up, which is the same but different.
Right.
And then I played the remake they did for Xbox PS3, which was a remake of the original arcade port. Right. So it's like the SNES version actually adds some levels. Yes. Bonus levels exclusive to the SNES, and then of course the Hyperstone Heist is like that same game, and they're like, let's change a bunch of stuff.
Yeah,
and so that's the Genesis version of Turtles in Time. I want that so bad because I've never been a huge arcade guy. Because I again, not growing up close to one, we did get one when I was a teenager, and it had like Tekken 2, and it had some other stuff in there. And that was fun. I do enjoy playing some fighting games like that on there, but like I don't have a big nostalgia for it. Like honestly, I think the biggest nostalgia for arcade games I had was playing Time Crisis with my buddy Jason.
Time Crisis.
Like we would go down to the Champagne Mall and I think in Market Square, and we would just spend all of our money playing Time Crisis. And and it's the one where you're both are standing up and you're just firing and you're like moving the gun off screen to reload, and you got your foot on the pedal to
to duck
down and all that stuff. It's a lot of fun, but man,
I just wanted to bring that up.
Damn it! Why'd you tell me that?
'Cause I'm an asshole.
You're breaking my heart, Anakin.
That's funny.
Did you ever see? Speaking of Star Wars, I mean, I this is totally off topic for a video game podcast. But did you ever see the Episode 3 Scooby-Doo comic parody of Anakin and Obi-Wan's fight?
No.
Okay, so Scooby-Doo, he is Obi-Wan Kenobi. Shaggy is Anakin, right? And he's like, "Don't do it, Raggy. I got the high ground. Like, you underestimate my power, Scoob."
That's pretty funny.
Oh, anyway, what do you got? I got my controller. You've got the two things, technically.
Yeah, I mean, so I bought
three things, kind of, because you got some Zelda amiibo.
Yeah, I got the what is
Bogoblin?
it? Bogoblin.
Boko Goblin?
But it's no G, so it's not Bogoblin. It's a Bogoblin.
Boblin?
Boblin. And the amiibo. Still looking for the other ones. Mm-hmm. I know where two are at.
Yeah, they're at my local Walmart.
I went ahead and bought the was it HyperX Cloud 2 headphones, gaming headset. Yeah, these are fantastic. They're extremely comfortable.
For $100, yeah.
For $100, they actually have like a metal frame. They are very solid. From the reviews, I mean, I really looked and looked and looked. These things are phenomenal for the price. I mean, if you need a good headset and you're like, oh, Turtle Beaches, these right here, screw Turtle Beaches. These things blow them out of the water. I love them.
The only good thing that I liked about my pair of Turtle Beaches, because I went and got like the big surround sound.
Yeah.
I went that far. The sound on the surround sound was absolutely amazing.
This has surround sound, 7.1.
7.1.
I don't have the long cable. It has a USB cable you plug in. It plugs into this, and I can change it from 7.1, and it has volume control. And
that's cool.
So, and I picked up Phantom Hourglass. Still on my trying to complete Zelda kick.
There you go.
So, I've never played it. I've never tried it. One of these days I will.
Yeah, one of these days. I mean, that's the cool thing about collecting is that,
complete.
Yeah, you got the manual.
Had to be complete.
And of course, I mean, that's just, some of those Zelda DS games are still upwards of $30, and you got it like
25.
25. So, I mean, and that's just the thing is that when you start looking at that stuff, is like I still haven't bought those because I'm just like I don't want to pay $30 for them.
Then they're not going to go down anytime soon.
Exactly.
I don't think they're going to go down for many years.
Right.
So.
And even then, it's like just the Nintendo stuff holds their value, and that's my worry about picking up the last few things that I want for the Wii U. It's like I don't want a big Wii U collection.
Right.
I don't want to have complete. I don't need Assassin's Creed 3 and 4. And, like a part of me, since I bought Arkham City, wants to get Arkham Origins. And it's not really that expensive. I think it's only I think it's $16, but I'm like, I already have the game.
Right.
Don't want to do it again.
See, for me, these are games I never played.
Right.
I played almost all of them. So these are like, I need to. To me, I have to play them.
Well, see, I want Hyrule Warriors, and that's like $50. Still.
I'm not buying Hyrule Warriors because that's not really a Zelda.
No,
game.
it's not. It's not. And I'm buying that because I used to dig the and have fun playing the Warriors.
Yeah.
Style of game. In fact, I love the Gundam Warriors games. Are amazing.
Yeah.
I have all three of those. Those are great. But I do want to get the Zelda ones because they're taking what is the Warriors style with the big battlefields and putting enough Zelda in there to make it different.
Right.
I've seen enough of it that I know that I want it in my collection.
Right.
I'm not saying it's going to be like my best Wii U game, not by any means, but I do want it because it's them attempting to do something with this Zelda name that is different, which is something they don't. When do they ever hand that property to somebody else and go, "Hey, do something with this"?
Never.
Hardly ever. I think one of the last times that they really did anything like that was when they did four Swords Adventure or something like that, like where they had like the 4-player type thing, and then maybe I
think Triforce Heroes is the same way too.
But I don't know. I think that might have been in house because I want to say like Capcom was involved with 4 Swords.
We can find out.
Yeah, we could, but
I could walk over and pull it out right now.
I know that Capcom did some. No, maybe Capcom was involved with the Oracle of ages and seasons. I know they were involved with some of the Game Boy like Game Boy or handheld stuff.
Yeah.
Early on. But that's just, Nintendo doesn't make a habit out of doing that with any of their properties. And Hyrule Warriors, I like the Warrior style. I kind of want to check out the the Dragon Quest Heroes, where they basically you have a couple. It's not like all the other like Dynasty Warriors type games, where this one you have a couple heroes that has a story, and then you play through it's a different style of Dragon Quest. Dragon Quest mixed with Dynasty Warriors. It's like where you have your heroes and you have like a couple people that go through and fight with you, and you make your way through some big levels, and it has like a hub world where you walk around and do stuff. But,
right.
So yeah, those are all our pickups. I don't have a whole lot of news. What we're going to be doing after we do some of the few news we have is that we're going to be going through. I was inspired by this about 2 weeks ago. Of course, now me and you don't really see each other a whole lot at work, so we don't get to talk to each other unless when we're walking into work.
Yeah.
But I kind of wanted to do something where we ranked or at least talked about current gen stuff, because we do a lot of like older stuff. We talk about older games a lot. We talk about retrospectives, and we do pickups and we talk about some of the new games that have come out. But let's look at when I was thinking about 2017, when it gets to November, it's been 4 years since the launch of the PS4 and Xbox One.
Right.
4 years. The old school mindset of a system life is 5 years.
Yep.
They're almost up.
Yep.
And whether or not they are going to be up with the launch of the Scorpio, and if PlayStation is going to counter that, and it's going to actually be the same but overpowered, so they're not going to go to a PS5, Xbox 1.5, whatever they're going to call it. We don't know what the future holds for console gaming going forward, as far as getting a whole new system, because the whole mindset's changing. But I wanted to look at the games that have come out and talk about the games that have disappointed me and the games that haven't, and make a list of that. And we're going to do that after we talk about a few news headlines. One I don't actually have an article for, but I'm just going to riff off my head. The last wave of NES classics have hit the shelves this week as we record this. Of course, as you guys see this and listen to this was actually last week, because we're doing this week out. But yeah, they hit Best Buy on Tuesday this past week.
The last ones.
No there are no more. Nintendo, they're not making any more at all.
They're not even making the controller.
Nope. No.
USB controller. So if you want a USB controller,
or it's not a USB. It's actually it is a NES controller that hooks up via the Wiimote connection.
Yes, you're right. Yeah.
But yeah, Nintendo didn't ship any more of those, and I think people were buying them with Insignia. Insignia is making third-party NES controllers. So I immediately saw one that day on my Facebook Marketplace for the local area for $300.
Yep. You gotta love scalpers.
And then he lowered it to $250, within hours. He wasn't getting any hits on it. Buddy, I'm blowing up.
Oh no, Mr. Popular. Is it Best Buy again?
Oh, it's Rob. Yeah, I actually do have to reply to this, guys. I'm sorry. This is actually kind of important.
Hi, Roberto.
Yeah, he's asking me a very important question that I cannot mention on the podcast.
Okay.
That I cannot type with one finger.
Clearly.
Yeah, no, I can't. And seriously, I just typed dong when I'm try to type doing.
Use two hands. Why do you have to use one?
Because I've gone this far now, and
you have another hand available.
I've gone this far, and now I swear I'm going to finish this with one finger.
Okay, I mean, determination. Go for it. I'm just saying, you had the ability to use two.
I do have the ability, but I'm stubborn that way, where it's once I've started, I will not stop. And now I'm actually going to put this on silento. Not even vibrato.
No vibrato.
So NES Classic, yeah, Nintendo's not making anymore. They said this was just a thing. We didn't expect it to be this popular, and we're not going to meet the demands because they're too worried about the Switch. But the rumor is that the reason why they're not going to be doing it is because they're going to be launching a different classic system this year. You heard about it?
A little bit, but not enough.
Super Nintendo Classic. That's the rumor. And of course, it's like, what would you put on that? Of course, you got to put Mario World. Of course, you got to put Zelda: Link to the Past. Of course, you got to put Super Metroid. Jeez. Which, as a retro collector, like Super Metroid is $50. Yeah. I know. I just bought it not too long ago.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you're gonna buy that for $60, that's just that game alone has earned you your money's worth. Yep. And and if it's connectable via HDMI,
yep,
it's gonna be the same thing though, where you're just not gonna be able to find it. Yeah. Again, as a collector, it doesn't entice me. It's a cool thing, because I think it's bringing more interest into the retro community for people like, I want to play these old games again, but they don't want to get out and active into it. That maybe if they get the interest and then it gets snagged away from them, that they might just go out and start getting the old stuff.
Right.
Which again, people say, well, that drives up prices, and it does. But then you get like, I am about getting stuff for good deals, but I'm also for like, man, I love it when people like say, they find out that I'm a collector and they find out what games I have, and they start opening up about all these old games that they played. Yeah. People that you never knew played games. People that like, oh, dude, I love Mario 3 or something like that. I love that. I mean, I was also when I was a kid, or man, I was a teenager when that came out, and yeah, man, that's how I spent my days after school, and it creates good conversation with people.
Right.
But I want to kind of take the focus and talk about the Switch. Yeah. Rob actually texted me back.
Roberto, go away.
Poor Roberto. He'll be back on the show one of these days here. Nintendo Switch sells 2.74 million units in under a month. So Nintendo Switch launched at the beginning of March.
Yes.
And now we are, as we record this is the end of April. And it says under a month. So it probably around beginning of April is when they got these numbers in at 2.74 million units.
And it's not slowing down.
They originally expected to ship 2 million units of the console in its first month. It is also revealed that Zelda Breath of the Wild for Switch has sold 2.76 million copies, meaning 20 more thousand units of Zelda have been sold than there are Switches in the wild.
I wonder why. Fuck you, scalpers.
You want your Master Edition.
It's not worth spending that much money on.
Nintendo also pointed out that launch game 1-2 Switch is generating buzz, but did not reveal sales figures.
Surprise!
Yeah. Now, Nintendo now expects to sell 10 million units of Switch hardware into the next year, probably before the end of the first, into the fiscal year.
Right.
Alongside 30 million software, so it's like they'll sell 30 million games, which of course they're going to have. Just this week, as we record this, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe launches, which comes out with all the DLC from the Wii U.
There is also a package deal. You can get the Mario Kart 8 and the Switch.
Yeah. You can get all the deal. It comes packed with all the DLC from the Wii U, plus a few more racers.
Yep.
And then, of course, an actual battle mode. The old school battle mode is back, which is awesome. But that game's coming out. Of course, Zelda is already out and it's sold almost 3 million copies by itself.
And it's still going
just
strong.
Off the Switch. So think about that. How many other copies of the Wii U did there sell? Because there are people who still bought that. So, I mean, then you have Splatoon 2, you have Mario Galaxy. Mario Odyssey, and you're going to have some others that are going to be coming out as well. And also probably some, like I think FIFA is going to come out for it, but I don't know if that's this year.
I don't know.
And it might be by the end of the year.
Probably. FIFA comes out everywhere.
Now,
even last gen.
The Switch, it's going to outsell the Wii U's lifetime sales in almost a year. The Wii U had 13.56 million systems sold, and that's it.
I think it will.
I think it will too. I think
we're looking at 15, roughly 15 million by the end of the year. By fiscal year.
Oh, fiscal year?
Yeah.
Because I think you just said physical. Our physical year.
This is the year.
You know what?
Let's say a sales year.
sales year.
That's what it is for Nintendo.
You know, I think if they have a really good holiday, it's possible.
I think, I mean, from what I've seen, they've released a little bit more on Mario Odyssey. Yeah. It's Mario 64 on steroids.
Right. Next bit of news is a bit of retro news. And I don't know if you've even heard of this game. I know about it because of getting into the retro community, listening to podcasts. There's a game that got released on Sega CD called Night Trap.
Nope.
Night Trap is one of the big games that was important because it along with Mortal Kombat, led to the creation of the ratings board for video games. Why we have or like the T and M and stuff on the games.
Really?
Because the games were never rated before that. Night Trap is a Sega CD. Of course, Sega CD games typically came down into a few different categories. You had games that were enhanced by the CD, so music, or like Sega CD was like that game was a Sonic or Sonic CD. Sonic CD was a Sonic game with better music and a little bit extra power for the levels.
Right.
Then you had the games like Lunar, big RPG, which had some awesome sounding music. Then you had games that were like FMV style, quick time style games, where it's like you really didn't have, like, you basically watched the game and you hit buttons in time, and then it either played a successful hit or a bad hit.
Right.
And so basically it was like an interactive video game. Night Trap was kind of like that, where Night Trap, there were these girls having a slumber party, teenage girls. And so they were in their nightgowns, and these guys were getting in to try and steal stuff or get the girls. And you are a guy working on the security cameras, and you have to activate defenses in the house to stop them. So girls running around in their night outfits. They weren't naked, okay? It was just, that was too much for 1990s old people.
Clearly.
The game is getting re-released as a remaster, 25th anniversary edition.
Huh.
Controversial Sega CD game Night Trap getting a new release on PS4 and Xbox One. The game will be coming out soon.
Soon?
There is no date yet, but it was originally launched back in 1992. There was a Sega CD version, and there was a Sega CD 32X version that was more enhanced. Basically, the CD version, you just needed the Sega CD add-on, and the 32X, you needed both the CD and the 32X.
Right.
Limited Run Games has announced that they're going to release a limited physical copy version, and the cases look like the Sega CD and 32X cases.
With the PlayStation logo on top.
Yeah, with the PlayStation logo on top. So that's really cool. So you could probably pick which one you want to get.
Yeah.
Or either that, or they're going to be flippable. That
would be cool.
But I just thought that was just so random.
Yeah.
But it's really cool. And here's like a little snapshot. You really can't see it, but
yeah.
All the girls in their little nightgowns. That was the reason where parents are going, "Oh my God, Junior's watching girls in their nightgowns. We gotta police this."
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It seems so harmless now, but like you look back like on like Mortal Kombat back then, and we're like, that's nothing.
Right.
But then we look on like Resident Evil 7 now.
Yeah.
The Evil Within now, or just say any sort of big horror gory game now, and people, they would probably lose their shit. One of the most controversial games in more recent memory, as far as like you remember the game Manhunt?
Yes.
Where it was like basically like you were like in a snuff film.
Yeah.
Like, it was a violent game, and sure, I mean, violent games have existed, but you were like choking people out with plastic bags.
Yeah,
that's crazy. That's all the news I got.
Huh?
I got no major news. E3 is around the corner.
Yes, it is.
So
you know what we haven't talked about? I don't think. Have we talked about the new Direct? Nintendo.
Oh, yeah. No, we didn't. We haven't talked about it because I didn't watch it per se. I just read some stuff that was in it.
I watched it.
How was it?
It was good. It was all right. I wouldn't say it was good. There are some really neat things, like the new Sonic that they're dropping. That looks sweet. They're remastering all the old ones.
Yeah.
Not one. And you can play Tails, Knuckles, or Sonic in all the games.
That's cool.
And I think they added a new drop dash, I believe is what it's called, where you drop down and when you hit the ground, you'll automatically dash.
This is the Sonic Mania game?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
It looks cool.
I want it, and that's going to to all the systems.
Yes.
That's going to Switch. I hope it comes out in physical copy.
I do too.
Because I want it. I'll be honest with you. I probably would pay 40 to $50 for that, but maybe not 60.
I think it's 3 games. It's 1, 2, and 3.
Well, Sonic Mania is its own new game,
right?
And then if they include remastered levels from the other ones,
I thought that's what it said.
I don't know. I'm not looking it up. It's
I'm
no
not
big
looking
deal.
at that either. But anyways, yeah. And then there were some other key points.
Did they talk about Splatoon?
Very
Or-
briefly.
or
There was a video on it, and they showed like the new modes and stuff like that. I believe I sent you a text. Like the new Splatoon mode looks fantastic.
Yes. Okay, I remember that.
It's like It's not King of the Hill. It's like Hordes.
Oh, cool. Like a
you
horde
just
mode?
you just fight off hordes of stuff, and you have to collect gold seeds or seedlings or something, and you got to collect them, and that's how you win the mode. It looked really interesting. Like you were just fending off, and then when you'd kill like major guys, it would drop those specific items. I can't remember what they were, and they would pick them up, and you'd take them back to this little cage, and when that filled all the way up, you won. I was like, that's very unique. So they're bringing something new to the table, and they showed a little bit more of like actual fighting with the weapons. So that was really cool.
That's cool.
But outside of that, it's what we expected from the Direct. Just
They talk about Deluxe Mario Kart.
Briefly, a lot of that stuff was very brief. They focus on a lot of 3D games.
3DS games.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yes, because the Pikmin.
Yeah.
The Pikmin game got titled and released.
So, just touch base on that.
No.
It's all right. But anywho.
Yeah, dude, we got E3 coming up soon, and hopefully we can get together pretty quickly after the fact and do an episode.
Should be able to.
Wes said something about wanting to be on it, but I don't know his schedule. Because,
Right.
and that's really just whether or not, if we have Wes on, it won't be an issue to Skype him in while we do this.
Right.
We'll just have to get our setup for it.
Are we going to get together to do it? Like together and watch it together? Are we going to do like a live stream maybe?
Probably not, because
It comes on a Monday. That's like.
that. Yeah, we'll say okay. So Microsoft is now on Sunday,
Yeah.
and then I think Bethesda's still on Sunday, and then I don't remember if EA moved to Sunday too. But I know like Sony's still on Monday, Nintendo probably on Tuesday. Nintendo lately has been doing their directs for that instead, so they'll probably launch on Tuesday. But basically, like last year, how we got together, like I think it was like the Thursday or Friday after all of that week.
Yeah.
when we did an episode on it. We'll probably do the same thing.
Okay.
And it all depends on your schedule and what you're doing by that time, because that's like a month away, at least. So
Should be all right to do that.
we'll look at it, and hopefully we can do it. If we need to see, that's the problem though, because since we do the YouTube thing, I would like for us to get together and do it, and we'll have to figure out a time and date. If we've got to get together on a Saturday night at midnight to do this show, we will do it. Damn it.
We will.
I'll do it. Will you?
Sure. I don't care. You might see me over here.
We'll see. Wes had said something about wanting to be on the show, or said something. I want to say at LaFiCon he had said something about
Yes.
wanting to do it, but I don't know his schedule. I need to talk to him, and him being on the show does not trump you being on the show and us doing it in person.
Yeah.
So I mean, as much as I would love to have Wes come back, because me and him did the original E3 review before this podcast formed out of my original Brando game casts on the Trinity Comics.
Right.
He was a part of that, and that was a really good episode, long ass episode, which was thankfully on last year's E3. It was scaled down quite a bit.
Right.
But I am looking forward to that. But with that being said, I think we're going to go into our main topic.
Yes.
And I've got my games down here in my little trusty travel
I
bag.
got them stacked.
You've got a stack, and I actually know all of yours because of reasons, because you just wrote them down and then didn't bring them over because you weren't aware that I brought mine. But
Right.
do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
We can go first on the worst or dis.
Well, how we're gonna do it is that whoever goes first is gonna talk about their number 5 dislike or disappointed.
Okay, so my number 5 disappointed is blank. Because I only have 4. Because I wasn't disappointed with. I was only disappointed with these.
Okay.
So.
Now, then, so we're going to do disappointed first for you, and then you're going to do your not disappointed.
Okay.
So, and then it'll go to me, and I'll do my top, and I'll do both 5s.
Okay.
And then I'll go back to you for both 4s.
Okay, so mine is a blank.
So you couldn't come up with 5 disappointments, which is good. Which is good.
I mean, I can.
I know that you
trivial. You know, it's
right.
It's not like I didn't like this.
Well, because you mentioned so you mentioned Shovel Knight, but the only reason you put it on there because it was hard.
It's really hard.
Or as you said, horde.
Horde. This game is hard.
It's hard. I don't like this. Games were never this hard when I was a kid. Which actually they were.
We were just accustomed to it.
Yeah, I know.
But
we've gotten really lazy.
We have. But one of my my number 5 on good game, not disappointed games.
Yeah. I just want to clarify that just because a game is on a disappointed list doesn't mean I don't like it. Doesn't mean I don't love it. It just isn't exactly what I thought it was going to be or what it should be.
My actual disappointment one, you'll get to it. You already know why I'm disappointed in it. Mm-hmm. But so the franchise Need for Speed has been around for a very long time, and it's very well known. And here lately, excluding this game, it really hasn't been stepping up to the bar that I believe it should be at.
Yeah.
Where other games are at. Like, you've got Forza. And, I mean, Gran Turismo really hasn't been stepping it up either. Gran Turismo Sport, yet to play. I'm sure it'll be fantastic. Fingers crossed, I hope so.
But Forza have both of their, T-burp, both of their, the Forza and Forza Horizons, they've been doing really good.
They've been doing fantastic. And I feel like Need for Speed, I mean, it's the arcade style play, It's
which Horizon is kind of like it's like Forza with some arcade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the new Need for Speed, I believe, did exactly what it was supposed to. And then when it released, I was very upset immediately. They didn't have the drag racing thing. Because they have modes, and you can do like drag racing where you just shift the gears and you hold down the pedal to the metal and you weave through traffic, and you're on a linear path, and you can change lanes. Didn't have it. I was disappointed. Right when I stopped playing it, I had other games to play. They came out with it. So yes,
an update.
It's an update, yeah. So it's the new Need for Speed, and it's like Need for Speed. It's not anything else. Fantastic, good addition. If you're looking for that arcade style game and have yet to pick this up.
That came out, was that launch? Or was that year after launch?
See if I can find the
13. I want to say it was pretty early.
2015.
Really?
EA, yep. 2015.
Okay. It was Rivals. Need for Speed Rivals came out at launch.
And I bought that, and it was fun for a little bit, but it didn't meet this requirement. This is Need for Speed Underground Light. It's like, okay, we're going to restart the franchise. We're going to start back in the basics. We're going to grab what you guys know, and then we're not going to give you all of what Need for Speed Underground 2 had. We're going to give you enough, and then we're going to allow you to build from that. So I believe like the next Need for Speed will be what we've wanted forever from Need for Speed, and they just have yet to deliver. Because everybody wanted, Need for Speed Underground was amazing. Need for Speed Underground 2 is amazing. Need for Speed Most Wanted. Trivial. I liked it.
First Most Wanted.
Yeah, First Most Wanted. And then they went somewhere else. They tried something else and didn't do so well. But that is my... I was really sketchy to buy it. And then I watched a lot of people play it online. And I was like, okay, I'll buy it. It's what I want.
My number 5 disappointment. Mass Effect Andromeda. All right. I like this game. I really like this game. I like it a lot.
But
you have... This game is made by BioWare. But it's not the BioWare team that made the trilogy.
Right.
It is the BioWare team that made the multiplayer for 3 and did some DLC work. So you're giving this to a team that's never made an RPG, never made an open world game, saying that that's what you want. Why does this game have to be open world?
Because everything's going open world.
But since everything's going open world, wouldn't it be a better, like, poignant give a game to stand out by not being open world? I get it. Because I even like some of the open world aspects. I like the exploration. There's nothing there. But it's fun to drive around in the, I almost called it the Mako, but the Nomad. It's fun, especially when you upgrade it a little bit and get some better boost. You're able to travel faster while you put your 6-wheel drive. You can climb up stuff.
Right.
You upgrade that. It gets a little bit better to get around. But you have EOS, Vold, Kadara, Iladen are your big 4 open worlds.
Right.
The story in this so far, pretty generic, but good. I'm not saying generic in a bad way. It's pretty base for hitting the reset button in a way that doesn't really affect, like, the ending of 3 changed everything.
Right.
Where do you go from there? Over here, reset it. Same species, same stuff. Don't have the implications of this.
Right.
It's a cop out. But they were put in a position where it's like, we want to continue Mass Effect, but it's hard because no matter what we do, we're going to be stuck by the pressure from our fans to address this.
Right.
So let's not address it. Let's not address it by moving it out of here. And now all these people who went over here, they're not affected by this.
Right.
That's fine. And by doing that, you can't have, nothing in this, main story-wise, has anything to do with Milky Way.
Right.
Nothing. So, I mean, granted, okay, I haven't beat the game. I'm 60-something hours in. I'm almost to the end. So unless at the last 5 minutes they go, Reapers.
And you're going to be like, damn it.
I'm like, what? So far, nothing. And that's awesome to me.
Right.
Because it's like Mass Effect 1 all over again in that way. But it's not, because if you're brand new into the series and don't know what an Asari from a Turian, you're just like, oh, this is weird.
Right.
Okay? But for me, it's like, I get the little things. I already know all that.
Right.
So it's cool. The pacing of this story sucks. Fucking sucks. I go to a planet, I do everything that I can do on that planet. For the most part, I'm not hunting down every fucking mineral, every fucking thing over here, over there. All right? I'm not doing it. But when all your side stuff is just randomly put out on the map and you have to drive over here, get out, fight some people. Okay, got this thing. Now go back to the ship. Okay, now go to this planet. You got to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Literally, when you're doing side quests, if you don't do them, there's no order to do stuff, but literally, I've done some side quests where I'm like, I'm going to go back to this planet, and I go to this planet, and I go, and you can't go drive around as soon as you get there. You got to go. You're on Kadara. You're in a port, so you got to go down, take an elevator down, then go outside, get in your car, open the map. Where am I going? Is there a fast travel point near there? Okay, fine. Over here. Drive all the way over there. Go here. Okay, get it. Okay, now get back in my thing. Let's go back to the ship, because you can go back to the ship from your car.
Right.
Go back up there. Okay, talk to him. Over there. It's like, okay, yes, I found this. It led us to another nav point on this planet over here. All right, so I'm going back to this other planet that I went to before. Got to do the same thing. And then it's like, all right, I got another side quest. Where are we going? Kadara. If I'd have just talked to her after I talked to this person, I would have got both of them on the same. It's not always like that. But as I'm finishing up side stuff, it's taking me all the way. I'm going in the big circle, and I don't like it. The main story is pretty decent, but if you just focus on that and don't give a crap about the side stuff, it'll probably have a decent pacing. But since I'm like, I want to get all this, I want to do this, I want to get this character thing, I want to do this, the pacing is off. It's very this.
Right.
Where, just the other night, I got to a point in the game where I had like 3 or 4 big story elements hit me right in a row. And I was like, this is amazing. This is what it should be for most of it.
Right.
And again, it's not that I don't like it. I love playing the game. Gameplay's fantastic. Story's great for the most part. I just don't like the way that they built it.
Right.
So, my number 5 non-disappointment is Mass Effect Andromeda. for every reason why I praised it. The update that they went through to help fix the faces, for the most part, they're all fine. The facial animations didn't bother me anyway. You know, like I'm not looking for something that's on like Last of Us cinematic level here.
Right.
You know, I'm not expecting that. I get why people were kind of upset by it, but so far, I think
I am going to tinkle while you talk to everybody else. The small bladder kicks in. Live on the air.
you hit your own wall.
It's my wall. I'll do what I want. Continue. I can still hear you.
Okay. If I had to rank this among my Mass Effect titles, it would be number 4. Number 3 isn't perfect, but it does have a lot of really good story elements that have built up throughout the trilogy. Do I think they can improve upon this? Yes. And I honestly think they should. I really think that they should. I don't think that this game ruins it at all. I think this keeps Mass Effect alive enough for us to build a new galaxy, build a new Mass Effect on top of that, while keeping stuff in from the old, while building stuff new. I really love the Angara race. I think they're really cool. I wasn't sure what to think about them at first, but the more that I deal with them, the more that I think they're a good addition. And honestly, when we played the multiplayer, it was a lot of the same, but different. The waves are shorter. Everyone just heard that flushy.
It's okay. They knew I was going to the bathroom anyways.
I remember like back in the day, like
where I could never hold it.
No, not you. I'm actually talking about Nate. Nate snuck out of the room to go to the bathroom. This is, of course, during the comics, we never really filmed it. This is like episode 10 or 11 of the podcast, long time ago.
Right.
He came down and we went on a big game hunt, and we were doing the podcast, and this is the first time Rob was on the podcast, so he's like very like,
I don't speak.
Yeah, no, he doesn't.
This is
speak.
where Silent Rob was born.
Yeah, well, yeah, right. because like when you're just talking to him, he'll talk to you as soon as you turn like a mic on or a camera. Got nothing.
Sheepish.
But I was actually just including him in the conversation, and Nate's like, "Gotta pee," and he like snuck out, and then leaving, you couldn't hear him, but you heard him come back in. But he actually didn't whisper that. He actually said it in complete full, "I gotta pee," and then we waited for him to leave, and I started talking, and I was able to snip it together, like something that I had said to Nate that made us laugh, and I said something at the end of it, and I went right to Rob, and it fit perfectly. That was the first time I ever edited something like that, and was like, that was magic. But it was really weird because you could hear someone coming into the room,
right?
And Nate never acknowledged that he left. It's so weird. I don't have much else to say about Andromeda because I know we got some more updates. I know we got some more DLC, probably some DLC. There is no season pass for this, but the multiplayer is pretty good.
Who is that?
Where's she at?
Who is that? Is that a kitty?
Yeah, she's at the door.
Kitty. We're trying to talk about Mass Effect. Stop talking. Anyway, what's your number 4 disappointment?
Number 4 disappointment is actually a remake of the gen prior to Skyrim.
There we go.
Okay, so I love Skyrim. Mm-hmm. My wife is obsessed with Skyrim. So my only complaint about this, I still love the game. Still one of my top games that I played. Really, Bethesda, you couldn't fix the glitches? Seriously? There's some glitches that are not make or break for the game, but sometimes you'll go do a quest, and then that person ends up on a part of the map that nobody can ever reach, ever. Way up here in the corner. College, by the way. That's from the college. Yeah, you can't. College of Winterhold, you talk to this lady, you go do the quest, you come back, she's not there. Oh, how do I get to her? Oh, she's way up here. Let me walk through the snow and in the water. Yep, can't get there. End of the world. So, not disappointed, but could at least fix some stuff.
When a third party ported Mass Effect 1 over to the PS3,
Yeah.
of course, it had been out for Xbox 360 and Windows for some time, about 5 years. They didn't fix anything.
Yeah.
If anything, the PS3 version was just a little bit slower.
I only think about so to make the positive of this, mods.
Oh yes, mods.
You make the game a lot funner.
Especially on the Xbox One, they actually got the better look over that.
PlayStation has
They
at a certain time when I started playing it, they were letting the big ones they were letting them place extra missions and completely new buildings and stuff like that in it. So it was to the point where it was regulated, but not like PlayStation was like, could not have this.
You cannot have Macho Man Randy Savages.
I think they let that happen later on.
Did they?
I don't know.
That was always the best one. I love that. Feel the madness. I always loved that.
But my number 4 positive, Fallout 4, from the suggestion of somebody in this room, would have definitely paid $60 for this.
I did. I got it day one.
Now that I played it. It's amazing. I don't know what else to say. It's amazing. I have yet to play the DLC. Mm-hmm. I'm 3 full playthroughs through this.
Wow.
Almost every quest.
Damn, you.
Oh, yeah.
I did.
Well, the first time through, I went
that's
all
right.
the way to the end and lost everything. And then I had to start again. And then I went all the way through, and I screwed up my spec. So I restarted again.
Well, I'm glad you liked it enough to do that.
Yeah. So I'm literally, as I've mentioned multiple times before, the only reason why I'm not still playing this is because I'm waiting for the Game of the Year edition
to come with the DLC.
Come with all the DLC so that I can...
Curious they haven't actually released that.
Maybe. I think at E3 they'll announce it. There's no way. I mean, come on. Seriously? You're going to. I know you will. So I'm not disappointed. But, yes, that is mine.
Number
4 disappointment.
Let me make sure this is in the right order. Number 4 disappointment for me. Arkham Knight, Batman.
I'm a little surprised.
Arkham Knight, Batman. Like the game a lot. Not nearly as good as the other Arkham games. This is a distant fourth.
Wow.
Story's good in this, but they brought in the Batmobile and focused too much on the Batmobile, and this game did not have nearly as much creativity as the other ones did. What made the other ones, of course the story made the other ones great, but you had unique boss fights, and this one had like 1 or 2 actual boss fights.
Right.
What really disappointed me the most, playing through Arkham Origins, which was largely panned, which is funny because Arkham City was like, oh, this game is like best superhero video game ever made. Origins is like pretty much like okay, let's take that same game and like do more, and people are like, this is terrible. Which I can understand it, because especially if you just came off of Arkham City and you're playing this one, like this is the same game. But like the boss fight with Deathstroke in Origins was epic. Epic. Love that boss fight. Deathstroke, spoiler alert if you haven't played, makes an appearance in here. The boss fight that you have with the Arkham Knight in the Batmobile and he's in his tank.
Yeah.
It's the same fucking boss fight when you get to Deathstroke. When you take out the Arkham Knight, Deathstroke takes over his people.
Yeah.
And you have the same exact boss fight.
Yep.
Bullshit. That is bullshit. I was upset about that.
Fair enough.
I have a video on my Facebook. Maybe I'll try to find it. Like, it might be on my PlayStation. Of when I first beat Deathstroke, and it was a glitch. Complete glitch.
Oh, yeah, I remember
where,
the glitch.
Like, I was trying to sneak around the building and go around him. I was in tank mode. You see me kind of going real slow, and all of a sudden, his tank blows up, and then he's, like, floating in nothing over the water. And Batman flies in and takes him out, and then puts him in the back of the Batmobile. And they're floating above the water. And then Batman flies. He jumps back into the Batmobile, goes to take off, and it just falls in the water. Again, good game. I like it. 4th out of all the Arkham games.
Fair enough.
But this started a trend for me as far as like sequels that were coming to the next generation that just, when I played it, I liked it, but it wasn't as good.
Right.
So that was my number 4 disappointed list. Number 4, not disappointed. Rise of the Tomb Raider, Xbox One. Of course, this is out for PS4 as well now, and you get all the DLC for it, and it's all in a big, nice. I actually showed you that.
I've been wanting it pretty bad. Still a little pricey.
A little bit, yeah, but it'll go down. What's good about this? Well, did you like Tomb Raider?
Oh yeah.
Then you'll like this.
I figured I would. I played a little bit on
like literally. Xbox. There's nothing about this disappointed me. Like it's more reboot Tomb Raider.
It's more of like Tomb Raider-esque, like old school Tomb Raider. With
No,
new.
They do like it's a little bit more open world, and I say that like this loosely. Whereas they give you a few big open areas where there's more stuff to explore.
Right.
Whereas before it was like you had some areas where they seemed big, but there's only a few things to do in each one.
Right.
Now it's like you get a few big hub areas, and there's multiple things to do in each one.
Right.
So that is a change, but not bad. It still feels like the new one.
Right.
And it just goes more into her story, and this is the next chapter of that. And again, I played through this almost exactly 1 year ago. I remember coexing from work on a Saturday. My first Saturday coex at work.
Yeah.
Like on day shift. I was so excited. Like literally, I was thinking, man, I was thinking, man, I just want to go home. And then Stetler's like, Brandon, you want to coex? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I went home and didn't even think about it. Went home and put this in because I still had a few hours before Wyatt woke up. And I just played this. Yeah, I can't recommend this enough. If you're on Xbox One, get it. If you're on PS4, you get a better deal, which is kind of cool because that's Xbox One got the exclusive rights for this for a year,
right?
Which kind of hurt it a little bit, I feel, because it gave Xbox One a cool title,
right?
But I don't really feel like there was much hype around this as there should have been.
Right.
It was almost the same as the reboot for the first one because it came out with some fanfare, but people were like, oh, it's Tomb Raider. But then you played it and you go, this is great.
This is great, yeah.
And it was almost like word of mouth that got that game out and sold. But they were saying, they're saying that they're happy with how many copies that this has sold. I am really hoping there's a third one, at least. I hope that there's a trilogy for this because it definitely deserves.
Really, the first one was a really solid 9.8.
Man,
I played the crap. I mean, I got everything in the first one.
I would give the first one. I would give it like high 8s, 9.
Yeah.
And I would give this probably 8.5 to high 8s. Like, I'm not saying that like because it's I don't necessarily think that it's like better than the first one.
Right.
But like if you have all right, just pretend that this is the first one. If it's here, this one's like right here.
Right.
You know, it's a little bit lower because you've done it before, kind of. But it's new, more stuff.
Right.
And the story is pretty good. You know, the combat's just as fun, and you can't go wrong with it.
So my number 3,
disappointment.
Final Fantasy 15. So this is the last time I talked about this. I played a little bit more. I am a little bit into the new stuff that they added in to change the last ones. Not clear on the story still, so I put it away. As of the gameplay, open world-esque, it's fun, but all the missions are very repetitive. Go do this, come back. Go kill this, come back. It's all they are. Go find this, come back. That's all it is. Mm-hmm. Nothing adds to any of the story or any of the character stories. It's not like, oh man, you and Gladio got to go do this together, and you do this, Gladio, like, you learn a little bit more about Gladio. That's not how it works. You just go out and it's like, hey, I need you to hunt down these. Go get me some of these talons. Hey, I lost this. Will you go get it for me? That's all it is. Hey, but there are some epic boss fights in here. There's definitely some epic boss fights, but they're not the real bosses. Leviathan is a good boss. That was a good fight. It's cool, very neat.
That is one that people look at and they say that like that is the moment.
That is the moment of that game where like, yeah, it's great. But outside of that, it's just so I bought the deluxe edition, and Kingsglaive is a way better portion of this game. I would have rather them take Kingsglaive and made that the game.
Kingsglaive is the opening cinematic of that game.
Yes, and they actually is a movie, full movie, and you watch the full movie. I think it's like an hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes, something like that.
Seemed a lot longer when we watched it.
Approximately an hour and 15 minutes, or 115 minutes.
That is just under 2 hours.
Just under 2 hours. It was fantastic.
I enjoyed it, but I've said this on the podcast before, it pissed me off because there's so much information in that lead you to background for that
should be in the game.
It should be. I'm not saying that like Noctis doesn't need to know all that stuff, but the player needs to know some of that stuff.
Right, like you should have taken this video and chopped it up into segments and threw it in the game and been like, this section of the game when Gladio sleeps, okay, when Noctis sleeps, there's a section where he goes to Casa del Sol. I don't remember the actual name, but it's
the beach place.
The beach place, and he sleeps, and that's when he finds out about his father.
Yeah.
Okay, and that moment when he sleeps, and I can't remember his name, brings in
the main guy.
No, not the main guy. One of his
buddies
brings in
Is it to do with the glasses?
the paper. Yeah, I can't remember his name.
Yeah, like the really smart guy. I can't remember his name either.
So whatever. He brings in a thing. He's like, we should tell Noctis about this. Blah blah blah. This is what's going on. Okay, that right there should have cut scene, and you should have had part of the movie in that where he's fighting, and you see you don't have to have. I don't remember the main character story in the movie.
You don't have to have all that. No, but you need to have scenes. You need to have some
scenes
stuff.
when he's, when the Empire comes and they're negotiating their terms, and you find out why Noctis is looking for the princess. What is her name? I can't think of her name.
His betrothed.
His betrothed. You don't know why they're getting married. In the movie, you do. You knew that they were childhood friends, and that they were destined to be together.
It was an arranged marriage.
Yeah, it was arranged marriage from the beginning, and then all of a sudden,
were they going to merge their kingdoms
together? It was like their solidification of their kingdoms, and
okay, so then maybe they were going to merge them, but there was going to be like, this is like our sign of solidarity.
Yes. Yeah. And the thing is like both families were really close with each other. It's not like this is to end war or this is to bring peace. This is, why don't we do this? And then they ended up hitting it off, and they were really close to each other. But you don't know that. You only know, you're going to see your betrothed.
Yeah.
That's all you know. There's just not enough information. Like, the movie should be chopped up and put into the game.
One of my big things with it was, it's like the Empire's taken over the city. They've taken your dad. And it's like, who's the Empire?
Yep.
Like, they're like, the Empire's done this. It's like, who is the Empire? Tell me who the Empire is. Yep. When we're fighting Shinra, Barrett tells you that fucking Shinra is stealing the breath of the life of the planet.
That's all you need. That's a very simple line.
And it's like, and then you get told they're a weapons manufacturer and power company. You learn this. It's pretty bare bones, but they're a company, and they're doing this bad thing.
You know who they are.
The Empire has taken over. It's like, okay, I know that they've taken over. Who are they?
Yep.
They don't tell you.
Nope.
That bugged me. That bugged me a lot, and it still does. And in the first sentence in this damn movie, you learn more about the Empire in that first.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Yes.
You remember me like being there watching, and I was pissed.
You were pissed the whole time, and you even said like within the first 5 minutes, "I'm just letting you know now. This is pissing me the fuck off."
It's pissing me off
That's
because there's a reason why I didn't put this on my list. I'm only 13 hours in because I gave up on it. I'm gonna go back to it. Scout's Honor. Sometime I'm gonna go back to it. I'm gonna complete it and get my full opinion on it. But I already know it's not gonna be great.
Yeah.
But I didn't put it on here on my list out of fairness because I'm not gonna shit on a game that I'm not that far into.
Unfortunately, doesn't make it a whole lot better. But I'm yet through the whole thing, so final thoughts are not there. But up to this point, I'm 30 plus 40 hours in, and I barely know what's going on. But the only reason why I know what's going on is because of the fucking movie. Just saying, that's where we're going to end it. So, my approval list.
Is this number 3?
Number
not
3,
disappointed.
Not disappointed. Batman Arkham Knight.
Ah.
So up to this point, I hadn't played any of the other ones other than I did play
City a little bit on Wii U.
Asylum, and then I only played a very
I gave you. I think I gave you City on Wii U, and you had it forever, and you never touched it.
Yeah, there was too much going on, but so I liked it. Yeah, the Batmobile thing kind of sucked, and I definitely understand where you're at on the boss fights because.
You have not much to compare it to.
No, exactly. So
yeah, and again, I didn't dislike it. I thought it was a good game. I love stuff that they did with Joker and Batman and him being in his head and him seeing him. I love that shit.
That was amazing.
I thought a lot of the story stuff was great, even if some of the Arkham Knight was predictable. That's okay. That's okay. It's just it didn't, in my opinion, it didn't live up to the other games. So therefore, by definition, I'm thinking games that disappointed me, and I was disappointed.
Right. For me, I didn't play the other ones, so like I said, I don't have anything super comparative to in this specific genre, Batman genre game. But I love the thing for me, which you could do this in City. But for me, flying through the city, jetting back, using the bat claw to go here, go there, using it to launch. I literally being Batman. I literally spend at least 10 hours just launching myself in the air and flying around and just be like,
finding stuff. Yeah.
This is sweet. Like, you're not even finding stuff, just sweet. The part where the bat, what is Man Bat, fucking jumps up on that thing. I was at one of the highest points in the game, like not his tower, but Lex Luthor's tower, and he. And it actually scared me because I was ripline, like I was doing the jettison up over it, and I was like, and he was just like, I was like, fuck. Like I literally would like jumped and was like, I should know that's coming on because I'm doing that quest.
It got me a couple times. And I liked the way they did it because they would do it. It wasn't random. It was like if you were in a certain part of the town that was going to trigger it. Yeah, it was going to happen. Like once you learned that, you were like, okay. Yeah. But when you're just like doing other stuff and that thing's active, and that quest is active, you're like, whoa!
I literally had done it, and it would move me to another spot, and all right, I'm going to go do this, and I was on my way through there. It was on the way to it. Mm-hmm. It's like I'll do this, and I did it, and that's when it got me right there, and I was like, and then I finished the other question, finished it, but yes. Oh, man. But I like it. It's good. Dig through your bag of goodies.
Number 3, disappointed. Infamous. Second Son.
Hey, I know that copy.
I know, it's yours.
Yes.
I bought it from you. Not a bad game. It's not a bad game.
Very repetitive.
It is very repetitive. I played the first game. To be fair, I played the first game. I have not played the second game. I own it. I really liked the first game. I liked it a lot. Right. This was one of the first PlayStation exclusives to really come out. And it was supposed they had built Infamous up into a brand from 1 and 2. Right. To being like, this is going to be potentially a big open world action game from Sony. And this game kind of came out and was almost kind of like a popcorn fart. The main character is not interesting. The story is not interesting. It's very repetitive. The positive is that the gameplay is pretty fun, repetitive. Yeah. It is like
the powers are great.
The powers are fun. The First Light thing was actually more fun than this. If you played any of First Light, it reminds me in some aspects of like big 3D Mega Man. In a way.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like you're running around, and you're shooting at stuff. It looks amazing. The graphics are great. Man.
That was the reason why I picked that game up. It was the first exclusive, but it was the first one that they were branding as utilizing all of what the PS4 could do, because they have the light bar, and you can use the controller to do motions in the game.
I
doing the spray paint.
I did like that. That was kind of neat.
That was really neat, but have you noticed that there are no other games that utilize that at all?
You know how Nintendo likes to use all of their gimmicks and have a game that uses their gimmicks, just like Breath of the Wild stands out as not using the gimmicks of the game.
Yeah.
Because like I just heard this the other day in some video. Whatever game it was, the Animal Crossing Amiibo board game. I can't remember what it's called, but in order to play that game, you have to have the gamepad, and you have to have Amiibo to play it.
Yeah,
you have to take your so if you're an Amiibo collector and never take your Amiibos out, then you can't play it. But you have to pass the gamepad around, and then that player has to tap their Amiibo on.
Ugh.
And then there's like games where it uses a gyro. Star Fox, the whole damn game uses the gyro. If I had Star Fox, it'd be on this list. But I didn't pick it up because I already knew it was going to be disappointing.
Yeah, it was disappointing.
Again, this game should have been so much more.
Yes.
It's not very long. It's when you compare it to the first Infamous, it's just. I'm trying to find a way to rank it because it's. I would rank this. As I said, I thought the DLC for this game was better than the game.
The paper one,
or the First Light, where you're the neon. You play as the neon girl that
Oh, I haven't played that yet.
The First Light. They did a standalone DLC where Infamous 2 did this, where they had Festival Blood, where you could play Festival Blood without having owned Infamous 2. You can still download and play it. They did that with First Light. And I got that with PS Plus, and I played it. And then actually, in the UK, they have a standalone disc copy of First Light that will play over here because it's region free. I thought about picking it up because I actually played it and liked it, but disappointed with Second Son. Number 3.
What you wasn't disappointed in?
Fallout 4 on the Xbox One, because I played all of my Fallouts 3 in New Vegas, so I didn't beat New Vegas on the Xbox 360. What's cool about this, for the time, Xbox exclusive offer, Fallout 3 included for free because of the backwards compatibility. So if you bought this game, you put it in, you get Fallout 3 for free.
Yes.
This game is everything I wanted it to be. I loved Fallout 3.
I was surprised.
I bought Fallout 3 back in 2009, right before I got moved to Sealer.
Right.
And as a temporary, I wasn't even full time. I bought it used from Disc Replay. It was still $42.99, but I got it for $12.99 because that was before they had barcodes, and the dude typed the number in wrong. And we bought a bunch of stuff, so I didn't realize that. I thought, man, something was cheaper. And then I got in the car and we started driving. I started looking at the receipt, and the receipt was like, it was very like non-chain, where it wasn't a formal receipt. It just had receipt with prices on it,
right?
You know. And I was going through, and I'm like, what was $12.99? And I'm looking at the stuff in the bag, and I'm like, nothing was $12.99. That was $42.99. And then I realized that on a keypad 1 and 4, dude messed up. And so I got Fallout 3 for like $13. And I played through it, loved it, put over 100 hours in that damn game. Never finished all the DLC. I didn't finish Broken Steel or Point Lookout. which I wanted to, but eventually, I want to say I lost my save data.
Huh.
Well, I did because I sold my Xbox.
Right.
But I was intended to go back, but now it's like I got to play through all 3 to get back to that. I'm like, I'll wait another 30 years. Fallout 4, though. Buddy, some people were disappointed because it's like, man, it's just like they just enhanced Fallout 3 and made it like, that's cool. Like, I liked Fallout 3. And you're telling me they're going to improve the gameplay and the shooting to make it halfway decent?
Remember, the only reason why I would buy it is because you're like, the shooting is like any other shooter. I couldn't play the third one. I tried, and when it was like, I was like, what's that? What is this? Because I was into first person shooters, and I was, what is this? What are you doing? No, bring it up in front of you. Don't cock it to this. What is that? And it wasn't just you aim it. You actually bring the gun up to your face and you aim. It was this moves the gun a little bit further up, and then you still look at what? That disappointed me. Yeah. But this one did not disappoint.
I liked the customization. I liked building your own places, even though I didn't. I like the way that you can choose how you want to play it. You can, if you want to focus on building your own places and your own outposts, you can do that 100%.
I spent quite a bit of time.
And focus just on that. The graphics are pretty decent. They're not great. It's still a Bethesda game, so there are some bugs. The Xbox One version does play a little bit better than the PS4 one. I don't know why that is. If it's just a little bit more similar to a PC, it's easier for them to work with. Reporting, I don't know, because the architecture is not all that different now. But this was like, I got an Xbox One, and this was one of the first times I put a lot of time into my Xbox One.
Right.
Was this game. And when they release another Fallout or another New Vegas or whatever they're gonna do, I'm gonna get it on the Xbox One. That's where my Bethesda games are. Right. I didn't buy Skyrim remastered because I don't really feel a need to.
We bought 2 copies.
But I bought. I do have Oblivion. I do have Skyrim. Yeah. Those are on the Xbox. All my Bethesda games, core Bethesda games anyway. Right. They're on Xbox. The great game, fantastic. I really can't say much more about it.
All right, so my number 2 disappointment, Bloodborne. I have some reasons why I was disappointed in this game. It's hard, but so what disappointed the most is quite literally no story.
That's always sucks. That's always really rough because, if the game is fun to play, and it doesn't have a story, that's one thing, or very little story. But if something that is very taxing to play doesn't have a story or a very little story, that's rough. It makes it a chore.
So, for the longest time I played through this game, and the longest time I mean a couple of days, not knowing what to do, going around figuring it out. And I was determined to get good at it. I got good at it. Couldn't beat the first boss by myself. It's just too damn hard for me. I actually bought it to play with somebody at work. And when we were finally, Ray.
Is that Ray?
Yeah. We finally were able to link up. We got a lot better at it. Learned all the controls. Learned actually what to do. I liked the game. Quite literally, no story. I mean, it's just, hey, city's crazy. Go.
I never played it.
I mean, that's literally what it was. I'm trying to look. Uncover the city's darkest secrets in order to survive. This is pretty much all it was. That was it. And then it was, oh yeah, by the way, the guy, the old master, spoiler alert, which most people probably didn't get this far in the game. A lot of people played it and then was like, nope, I don't like it. The guy in the wheelchair, he's your final boss. Because he was the last whatever you are in this game. It was fun, but like I said, if you had...
Hey, what are you doing in my boxy?
She got in your box.
How dare you?
Was going to be my top-rated game of this year until Zelda came out. Horizon Zero Dawn.
That is your not disappointment.
This is my not disappointment at all. This thing exceeded all my expectations for a new title. It was like Far Cry, but a lot better. The new Far Cry Primal. I love Far Cry Primal. This was basically that game, but much more detailed. For a first title, I'm excited to see the second one. I'm really disappointed I didn't get the collector's edition of this because of how much I ended up liking it.
I know you were very on the fence.
I was on the fence because I knew it was going to be. I was hoping that it was going to be good, but I have been let down before, and I just. I literally picked it up almost at the very last minute, and I was like, all right, I'm pre-ordering it. I just can't. And then I played it, and I was like, crap. I should have got this. I should have got it. But at this point, to really, if you haven't played it, I've mentioned it before on a podcast when I picked it up, how much I loved it. Loved it. Yeah, it's just you're a Nora warrior, and you go through and you hunt machines. I mean, the world has been taken over by machines, and you find out why. And just the story behind it is fantastic. It leaves it open. They could end it, but it leaves it open enough to where you can continue with the actual original story. There's not like okay, well, you finished that, let's go do this. It's, okay, you know what's going on. You know exactly what happened. What is your choice? Do you choose to make the world better and pursue the old technology, or do you leave it alone and just live how you're living? So
I keep yawning.
Fantastic game.
I keep yawning, man.
I see it.
That's what sucks about doing things after work. Is that after you sit here for about an hour, you're just like, your body's like, I'm ready to do stuff.
Yep.
All right. My number 2, disappointment. Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain.
Disappointment.
Severely disappointed with this game. I was looking forward to this for a long time. This is Kojima's last go. It was delayed.
And delayed.
Delayed a little bit more. And then they didn't finish it. That's a problem.
Yeah.
The story starts off great. Trails off bad. The art. Kojima's always been very artistic in his games.
Right.
This game is fun. Gameplay-wise, the best Metal Gear game you'll ever fucking play.
Right.
Bar none. This game is an open world with nothing to do.
Yeah.
So when you explore a vast world, you're exploring nothing until you get to a little outpost, until you take these people out or you don't. Or then you got these different bases that you go to the same bases kind of a couple different times to get different things to do stuff. They switch actors for Snake in this game. It's not Snake. It's not David Hayter. It's Keith Sutherland. Sutherland. Kiefer. I called him Keith. Keith. I call him Keith. Me and him are tight. Not a bad change. I was disappointed. I'm a Hayter loyalist.
Hater loyalist.
I'm a David Hayter loyalist. I mean, come on, he was Metal Gear Solid 1.
Yeah.
He played Snake for every other iteration of Snake. There was no real reason to replace him because Snake doesn't talk that much in this game.
Right.
Unless the story reason. Do you care if I spoil this?
I don't care.
Do you guys care if I spoil this?
They don't care either.
5, 4, 3, 2. Basically, if you fast forward enough and he's talking again about a different game, I'm done talking. Well, actually, no, I got another game that I'm not disappointed with. So if I'm not talking about Metal Gear anymore, this isn't Snake. This isn't Boss. The guy you play as in this game is not Big Boss. It is not Snake.
Huh.
You create when you start the game, you create your online avatar.
Right.
That's Snake. In this game, you're an imposter the whole time. At the beginning of the game, or at the ending of Ground Zeroes, Snake is attacked. Basically, this is a sequel to Peace Walker.
Right.
Okay? And in Peace Walker's boss has built up his own military unit, his own kind of country-esque, outer heaven-esque, where it's his own military. And they do jobs, they're freelancers, they're mercenaries, and they get attacked at the end of Ground Zeroes, which is like the prequel to this. It's Metal Gear Solid 5, Ground Zeroes, Fan of Pain. You can get them both in one package now.
Right.
At the end of that, he is attacked. And in this game, you wake up 9 years later. And you're missing a hand. You've got shrapnel in your head. You're barely survived. And I love the intro to this game. That's awesome. Like, okay, so basically, at the beginning of the game, it shows them rushing in to save your life. And there's Miller next to you, barely hanging on himself, injured. Basically saying, don't you die on me, and everything goes black. And then then a David Bowie song starts playing. The Man Who Sold the World. And that's when he's waking up and it's hazy. And you're just like coming in, and when you come out of it, that song's playing on the radio next to you. That's awesome. And then you get attacked at the hospital, and the dude that's next to you, who's bandaged up, helps you escape.
Right.
And then he goes missing during the escape. He's gone. And then you get found by Ocelot. You set up your own new base. You get Miller. You're setting up, and you rebuild Mother Base. You rebuild everything that you had.
Right.
You take out the guy that attacked you. You find a young Liquid Snake. Your clone.
Right.
Who doesn't match you DNA wise. They say he doesn't match you. There's a reason. Because when you find out, that guy that helped you escape from the hospital is Big Boss at the beginning of the game.
Huh.
And you are the proxy. You are the target. While he goes over here silently, background does stuff.
Huh.
And this Big Boss is the boss that Solid Snake kills in the original Metal Gear. Which is why when Big Boss comes back in Metal Gear 2, it's like, I killed you. No, you didn't. You killed the fake Big Boss.
Huh.
Not the real Big Boss.
At least it stays in the storyline.
It is, but it's almost... Kojima was going for the big, twist.
Right.
And it was just like... I see.
I see.
This has 30 missions to the story. Technically 40, but the story stops at 30 because they didn't finish the fucking game.
Right.
You take out the main boss. There's a whole extra story with Liquid Snake stealing Metal Gear that never gets resolved.
Huh.
There's actually on this version, which I got the collector's edition with the hand. There's a DVD where it has like interviews and stuff. It has like a documentary, and then it has that extra chapter done in storyboard form, and some game aspects that were finished for it because they didn't get to finish it. And it seems like it was a whole mission where you confront Liquid Snake and this little psychic kid with a gas mask that's joined him. Wonder who that is. I have vivid memories of playing this game when Wyatt was really small, laying next to me, sitting in this little rock and play, and not being able to do much. And I played this a lot then.
Right.
I have good memories of it, but I have a lot of eye roll moments with this game.
Right.
It is very repetitive, gameplay wise. Again, awesome. If you love Metal Gear, get this on discount.
Get this on discount.
I'm not telling. Yeah, don't buy it full price. If you can get the double pack for $40, I think that's a decent price.
Right.
Know what you're getting yourself into.
Right.
Please, because there is room for disappointment here, and I don't want anybody to be disappointed. Because I was. Even Nick Torres, very disappointed in this game.
He's big.
He's got Ray Fox on his arm.
Yeah.
Big Metal Gear fan. He's very. Me and him, when he came to Days, he's like, there's something we didn't get a chance to really talk about. I'm like, yeah. You're right, because by the time I went to Nights,
Days,
yeah, this game was out and we were playing it, but then like I got sidetracked with it and then finally finished it, and then we didn't get a really good chance to talk about it.
Right.
So we got it when we were working together. We finally got a chance to hit this game and talk about it, and we kind of both feel the same way. Where it's just like, instead of this being Kojima's last hurrah, it was the last. I'm done.
Right.
You know, and it's a shame. Because I kind of wish he could have had the full length to tell the full vision of his story. Maybe it would have changed my mind a little bit.
I think that Konami was kind of pulling.
They were ready for him to be out and done, and fuck Konami, because they helped ruin a potential great game.
Right.
Which maybe that twist would have been a lot better had he had enough time to fully build it and get there, because obviously that leads you to the point of the beginning of Metal Gear 1. And, if the only way Konami will ever get me to even think about buying another Konami game is to say, our next game is Metal Gear 1 Remake. And I'm like, then I'll be watching it closely. Because I'll be telling you, I don't want to buy it.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm very burnt. And partially because of this game. And I'm not putting the blame on Kojima. They didn't have enough time to finish the game. They pretty much probably said, you're out of time. Finish what you can.
Yep. I believe
make it presentable and done.
Yeah.
Number 4. Game I'm not disappointed with. Dragon Age Inquisition.
Yes.
For a while, this was my favorite game of this generation. It's funny because this is BioWare, who is also the maker of number 5 on both lists, Mass Effect. They put a lot of Inquisition into Mass Effect Andromeda. They actually did, which is funny because the same thing that I dislike about Andromeda, I like about this game. It's open. You get to go places and do stuff.
But there's a lot of stuff to do.
Yes, there's more stuff to do, more places to go, more places to talk to. I really enjoyed the characters in this game.
I love this.
I enjoyed the characters in Andromeda. I really do. Just to touch on it, I didn't say this in Andromeda's thing. I did a loyalty mission for my least favorite character last night, and it had me rolling in laughter. It was hilarious, absolutely hilarious. And you don't have to play it that way, but I did. Where you guys are sneaking aboard a ship, and you guys get caught, and then the main enemy of the ship he's like, "You cannot stop me," and you turn off his comm, and then he's talking to the guy. He's like, "What have you gotten us into?" He's like, "Things are going wrong. I don't know what's going on." He's like, "I will not be ignored." You just keep cutting him off. But the characters in this, Iron Bull, great.
Yes.
Freddie Prinze Jr. plays Iron Bull. Very entertaining. I
love the banter.
Yes, and
that is the best part.
They brought that into Mass Effect Andromeda as well, where you travel around, where you said you're going and doing nothing, and you're just traveling and driving. They put the banter in with that, which is great because I've gotten a lot of funny stuff, and I've gotten a lot of cool character development within the characters,
right?
That they did, where they have the two people find the common bond, and they understand each other. They did that in this first.
Yeah, probably one of my best moments in that game is when I first got Iron Bull and I had Cassandra, because you always have Cassandra. I mean, she's always there, personally. And he goes, "Hey, you think we can flip a guy?" And you're like, "What?" And he's, "Yeah, you go low, I go high," and he flips. It's like, that's awesome. It's just something that it's not required, but it adds to the love of the game, and you feel like it's a whole game. Like you are fully engulfed in this game now. Whenever it has that small stuff where they talk to each other, I love it. It is a great game.
I don't know if you've noticed, every single game on there so far is a sequel.
Yes.
I think there's only one game in my entire lists here that isn't a sequel. This game is a major improvement off of Dragon Age 2, and it is a great addition to the first game. First game is more old school RPG.
Right. This
one kind of blends the two. It's got the old school RPG elements in there with a little bit more of what they try to do with 2. Like essentially, from what I understand, they had a year to make Dragon Age 2. because this is kind of what Dragon Age 2 is supposed to be. Because Dragon Age 2's game was actually supposed to be a segment of this game.
Huh. Wow.
But they just took that segment and they expanded it to make a more full game out of it.
Right.
And then they ended up making Inquisition, which was basically Dragon Age 2.
Definitely fantastic.
Oh my god, so much fun. I loved going through this game. I loved the character that I created. I at first I didn't like it, and then I got into my character, and then the relationships I built with my character. I romanced. I'm trying to remember her name now. She is the lady. She's like your bookkeeper.
Oh, that's
I can't remember her name.
Oh, man, I do know her name. Yes, I know who you're talking about.
I loved that because she's another my character. I picked a human nobleman,
Right.
so he's a well-to-do guy, and he's the leader of this Inquisition. And she's a rich. She comes from a rich family. We start talking, and we start getting into each other, and all of a sudden she's like, "I'm supposed to be married to somebody else." I'm like, "Oh, sorry then." And she's really sorry about it. And she goes, I seriously thought that was over, but I guess it's not. So then I decided to fight for her hand.
Huh.
And then, so you go to Orlais, I think it's Orlais. And you are in a duel. And this isn't gameplay, it's all cinematic.
Right.
With her betrothed. And then you guys are like clanging and fighting. You guys are talking to each other, kind of talking smack to each other. And then she goes, "Stop it! What are you doing?" It's like, "I'm fighting for your honor." She goes, "Don't!" It's like, and then she goes, then she finally tells your character, "I love you," and your character goes, "What?" And then the guy you're fighting goes, "You do?" It's like, "Yes, I love you," and then it's like, I love you too. That's why I'm doing this. Mm-hmm. And the guy goes, "Wow, I feel like a really big piece of shit." Goes, "You guys deserve each other. Have her. I'm good."
And walked out.
And walks away. And it's like, that's what leads your characters to like finally admit that. Right. Is you're kind of thrust in this situation, and it's kind of funny. Again, I thought the whole game was very complete. I liked the direction that they took with Solus. I hated it.
My thing on that game, which you already know, is I did not plan this out at all. All of my healers left. One was whatever the
you made that one girl. I can't remember her name, but she was one of the mages, and you made her like the.
Well, the way my story drove is I picked Cassandra, mm-hmm. and I told her to not take over. As I can't remember what the knights, it's
like the religion,
the holy order, or something, whatever it is. So she stays with me.
The chantry.
The chantry, yeah.
Head of the chantry.
And I think there was a Valaskis or something. It starts with a V.
Valerie, no.
Yeah, that's my whatever her name is.
Valerie Bert and Ernie.
Sure. She chose it. So there went my mage who has the ability to heal, and then. Spoiler alert, Solus is a god.
Demigod
type thing. And he goes off on his own. And I'm like...
He's kind of associated with the villain.
Yeah, I'm like...
Or with like the main villain.
Well, he's kind of the reason why the main villain happened.
Yeah.
And he was trying to correct his wrong. Kind of. Anywho.
He's basically correcting his wrong, but he's not entirely on your side. You're just... You got the same enemy.
Right.
At the moment.
Who is it? There was only two mages.
No, there's Dorian.
I don't remember. I didn't really use Dorian. I don't think the first time around I got Dorian because you cannot.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I didn't get him the first time because he was optional. He's an optional character, just like the lesbian girl, the elf.
Yes,
she's optional too. Starts with an F. Her name starts with an F, but yeah, those are optional. And I didn't know what I was doing. And then you were like, after I beat the game, you're like, "Hey, there's another mage out there." I'm like, "No." So then I made a character that was a mage, just so she can heal. And I kicked Solus to the curb.
Oh, man.
After I got Iron Bull, Cassandra. And the girl that I ended up playing as a girl mage to
romance
the girl elf because she's gay and she will not. I tried with my male to get her,
and she's just not interested.
She's not interested at all.
She's a funny character.
Yeah.
I can't remember her name either. But okay, so I started romancing Cassandra, and then I cut it off because then I started like getting interested in that one girl with the book.
Right.
Do you want to take a look at the book? That's all I remember from her.
Yeah.
Other than the romance storyline, I can't remember her name. I'm gonna remember it like on the way home, and I'm gonna like slap myself.
I wish it would have all the names of the characters.
It doesn't. But I started with Cassandra. She took the Chantry, the head of the Chantry.
Right.
But then she stays. You can convince her to stay, and she'll tell them that she's not ready to go yet. All of my characters besides Sola stayed. But love that game. Yes. I was hoping that Andromeda would be this. So far, it's not. Andromeda's still good. But I feel like this has more replayability than Andromeda is going to have because Andromeda is basically to do some of the stuff in Andromeda that I've done.
Yeah,
has been nails on a chalkboard. Like, oh, it's so tedious and redundant, and just keep doing it over and over. Now I'm kind of past that hump where I've done with all my planets in Andromeda.
Right.
So I was like, I have to be near the end. I have no more planets. They're all 100% viability.
Right.
I should be done wandering around. So at least my enjoyment of the rest of Andromeda should be
this. Right. Yeah.
Where it has been a stretch to get there. I didn't feel that with Inquisition as much.
Right.
There was some points where I'm like, I'm tired of walking around, but I never got to the point where I was like, I guess it may be because I'm not as a diehard Dragon Age fan as I am Mass Effect. Where it was just such. I welcome the change for Inquisition, but for Andromeda, I was like, yeah, open world, and I'm like, not like this,
right?
Yeah.
All right, so my disappointment, and I bought this because I was into another game that a coworker had introduced me to that I'm very excited for. No Man's Sky. So the game is good. It's just not what everybody expected or wanted.
They're still releasing updates for this, massive updates, and
I haven't heard anything about it. So.
I've been kind of following it. I don't own it, but from what I'm understanding, they are dedicated to making the game what they promised it to be.
So it'll be
from the get-go.
You'll be able to interact, like me and you'll be able to once in a great while cross, because obviously if you.
I don't know if they've got there yet. But they have added weapons. They've added a whole bunch of stuff, and from what I'm understanding, the game now, if you've never played it, is way more enjoyable than what it was when it launched.
Right. I hope so.
So that's good. That's awesome of them because that is one of the big like games that like they were showing and like wow.
It looked amazing.
And then when we got it, it was like. Oh.
I mean, I don't care that like most people say the graphics aren't there. Like it's pretty.
A game isn't about the graphics though.
The fact that like there is unlimited amount of planets for you to. There's literally unlimited amount of planets. You can use the stars that you get and create a whole nother galaxy. Like that's what you can do. So I was excited, but then there's nobody there. The whole thing about this game was like it was massive, huge open universe. You could go all these different places and blah 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 blah. Everybody expected to be online. It says right here, online play optional. The online play that's optional is if you're my friend and you play this game, you will appear at an outpost and I can trade with you. That's it. And it's not me and you interacting with each other. It is a generic you that I can interact with. That doesn't even actually have what you have in your thing, in your inventory. So yes, very disappointed. I bought it because a friend said it's worth $20. Maybe. I enjoyed it. I played a lot of it. It's okay, but it could have been a lot better.
I've heard it is, but again, I don't own it. So I really can't. I'm not a real judge of that. I mean, I was not gonna get it because I want. What came out around that time? Did Metal Gear come out around the same time as this?
I don't know. I picked it up so much later.
It's 2016. So no. What was coming out?
I don't know.
I don't remember why I skipped on this, but I did.
So, my approval. I just called it my approval rating.
Your top game so far of this generation that you have not been disappointed with is
Zelda.
Breath of the Wild.
For sure.
Wii U, also on Switch.
Also on the Switch.
But we have the Wii U version.
So this game can be beaten 4 minutes. It can. I have been to Ganon in 4 minutes. I just see if it was possible. You can. You don't do that. You have to know. I mean, I could have went through. I had like 15 hearts. I had the Master Sword. I had beat all the Divine Beasts. What happens is it takes half of Ganon's health away. So each one will take a eighth away if you have them. The cinematics for that are really cool. Shows them actually fire. It's pretty neat. I love this game for the fact that it is the first true open world Zelda, which that's kind of in right now. But the way they created this game, it's so unique, but it's so Zelda.
Yeah.
I mean, it's different. It is completely different than any Zelda you've ever played ever. But it is still 100% Zelda.
Right.
A lot of the stuff, like getting the Master Sword, getting into the Lost Woods, you have to use a torch, and you have to watch where the wind blows, the torch ashes. You know how long it took me to figure that out? Forever. I didn't even realize that it moved in a certain direction until I walked. My very first time doing that specific thing, I almost got there without using the torch trick at all. I just walked randomly. I was like, oh, what's over here? Oh, this is cool. What's over here? Oh, yeah, move through. I only made one wrong turn. And when I finally went through and did it all again, it was literally like I was 2 foot off of the entrance. I went to climb a mountain because it said there was a shrine there. And I was like, ooh, a shrine in here. Cool, I'll go get that. If I would have stayed on my current trajectory, I would have made it and never knew that that's how you would find it. So, but outside of that, the game is phenomenal. Ganon it's a different look on Ganon.
Yeah.
I finally beat him, and at first it was, I got to a certain point and I was like, I can't hurt him. And I realized you have to do the dodge because it slows down time. You literally have a quarter of a second to attack him. He turns, I think, all red or all gold, and you can't do any damage to him at all, no matter what. But when he attacks, if you dodge at the right time, he briefly blinks out of or into his normal state, and then you can attack him in that. You know, your what is that? Rush. Your rush
attack.
And I was like, that's cool. And then it finally, you talk to Zelda. She comes out and she's like, oh, this is it. Here's obviously the bow of light, like in almost all the other ones. And she weakens him, and you shoot the little Triforce symbols that she pulls out for you. It's really cool. And then to beat him, you have to like launch up, and it's very unique, and I really enjoyed every I can honestly say that I can look at this game and say that there is not a specific point that I ever was disappointed at any point in time, ever. That is hard for me to say. I can
concur with everything you said, other than I'm not that far. I got sidetracked when Mass Effect came out.
And that's your baby.
That is so far into my trek into that is an honorable mention. Not disappointed because I am in love with the game.
It is some of the fairies. Yeah, kind of weird the way that works, but I love it. The fact that you can go through. What I did was I went and got like all the barbarian armor or the. I can't remember the name of the place. It's barbarian armor, and you upgrade it. And as you upgrade, if you upgrade it 2 times, so the outfit itself gives you a attack boost.
Mm-hmm.
If you upgrade it 2 times, it gives you an attack boost on top of your current attack boost. You upgrade it to the max, double the attack boost. So my master sword does 60 damage to Ganon because it's double damage to Ganon. Calamity Ganon infected items or mobs. I was up to like 90 damage a swing. And I was like, Jesus Christ. It's just, I mean, I'm bashing away. Like, to get him down to the part where he turns the different color where you can't damage him unless you do your dodge. That was literally that fast. I would shoot one. I built arrows. I built the guardian bow.
Yeah.
I went all out when I found him. I was like, it's going to be hard. I know it. Like 2 shots with that. And he was like, down. I was like, oh crap, this is badass. But so like I said, there is no disappointment whatsoever at all with any aspect of this game.
The only thing I don't like is how quickly some of the weapons break.
Once you further into the game, it becomes less. Like when you start doing some of the hard guardian battles inside the shrines, you start getting weapons that last. Like you could do a whole boss fight with this one weapon, and as you know in that game, that's a long time.
Yeah.
So I've done most of my boss battles with like the guardian plus axe. So they do eventually get better.
Yeah.
But what I noticed from the game is like if you start from the beginning and you run all the way to Ganon, on the way there, if you do a straight shot, straight through, you have to dodge some guardians, but you pick up a full inventory of shields, full inventory of swords as you go through, which is just enough to beat him. And there's swords and stuff around the edges and heart pieces or stuff that you refill your health with, like apples and stuff. So yeah, I loved it. I mean, I just beat the game because I'm like 80 or 90 shrines in, and I was just like,
you could probably,
I had 3 full stamina bars. I mean, I could literally climb like Death Mountain without like stopping. So it was really neat.
Awesome. My number 1 most disappointed game of this generation, Watch Dogs.
Ooh.
Watch Dogs. I have it on Xbox One. I have the Walmart edition.
What's exclusive on there? What does it say?
Bonus weapon and character skin.
Ooh. Aren't you special?
I had this pre-order with the PS4. It got delayed, so I could not get this with the PS4 when it launched. I ended up getting Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. Which is a great game. Phenomenal game. This is by Ubisoft, so it's published by the same company. And I remember seeing this game before it came out and thinking, wow. It's like Assassin's Creed meets Grand Theft Auto. It's going to be great.
Right.
And it's not.
I hear the second one lives up to the expectations.
Okay. Do you remember how we had Assassin's Creed 1?
Yes.
And then Assassin's Creed 2 was like, all the stuff that would be cool in Assassin's Creed 1 that we didn't do?
You do it now.
Yeah. So it's almost like that leap. It's like, this is the beginning, and then here's the badass game.
Right.
I've heard the exact same thing. Where Watch Dogs 2 is exactly what almost everything they promised in Watch Dogs 1. This game came out in May of 2014. I bought this on Black Friday. I think that it was when I got my Xbox One.
Right.
Which I want to say was, I think I bought it like almost an exact year later. I got the special edition Advanced Warfare.
Right.
Which I don't give a crap about Call of Duty. I just thought it looked cool.
Right.
1 terabyte. I got this because I picked up 3 Xbox One games. I got this, I got Shadow Mordor, and then I got Rise, Son of Rome. Which, notice I didn't put Rise, Son of Rome on my disappoint list. It was a good game. Short. Very short. One of the best looking damn games I've ever seen.
Really?
Rise, Son of Rome. Dude, you put that on a great TV. Oh my God. It like just the visuals of the character, it looked great. Going back to this pile of crap, I got this on Black Friday, and I still paid too much for it. Dude, the driving sucks. The driving sucks. The overall, it just sucks. sorry guys,
Big pile of suck.
dude, it sucks. It's a long fucking game. It is just not that interesting. It is not that interesting at all. I did not pick up Watch Dogs 2.
Due to this pile of crap?
Well, I had heard that right from the get-go that it was better. Okay? Some of the people that I listen to and people that I trust,
Right.
as far as their opinion in gaming, said that Watch Dogs 2 is great. It's fantastic. It's gonna get, but it got released in that holiday in that holiday season,
Right.
and it got pushed underneath the rug.
Right.
So it's definitely gonna be a sleeper hit. I'll probably go back to it eventually. I'll get an Xbox One just so I can have them uniform.
Right.
I probably will never trudge through this all the way. Just like that, I probably won't, because this is the only game on my list that isn't a sequel.
Right.
And I really think that they dropped the ball with this pretty hardcore. And hopefully it sounds like they picked it up and they fixed it and they're like, okay, let's get this going where we originally said we're going to go. Cool. I commend you. Doesn't erase this.
Right.
Doesn't erase this, especially with what we saw, how we saw that big demo and then like the release version looked so shitty compared to the demo that we saw. When they had to dumb it down. Except for on PC, where you could still hack into the game and get that original visual quality.
Yep.
Crazy. It's so stupid.
It's still there. That's what's ridiculous.
What the
Why wouldn't you use what's already there?
Number one, most not disappointed game of this generation.
Okay.
Uncharted 4.
Yeah, I didn't put it on my list because I
Because you
don't
don't
own
own
it, and I don't play.
And you
played it all the
haven't.
way.
I don't think you've played
None of them.
any of them, which is a shame. A damn shame. Because this game is still my favorite game of this generation, bar none. It was Dragon Age Inquisition. Because I'm an RPG guy.
Right.
And I was hoping that Andromeda. Take this out of here. Get that out of here.
Right.
No. Even I'm pretty confident by the time I get in with Andromeda's gonna be down here. This game was fucking fantastic. Why? Well, number one, it's an Uncharted game. They're all great.
Right.
Okay. Great action game. Great. A lot of fun and a lot of humor. But this one, unlike, and I don't want to do the other ones a disservice by saying this. This one brings in and makes the story more personal with the characters. Whereas you do have the character development in the other games. The other games are more Indiana Jones-ish / Tomb Raider / National Treasure. A lot of fun.
Right.
A lot of fun with a couple of times where it's like the story gets a little intense and the characters get closer.
Right. This
one brings in some really great character development and acting and my gosh. I've completed the game twice. And I still kind of think that maybe this isn't as great on its own without the other three to build up to it.
Right.
Because it's almost like the other three are so great, and then you put this, it's like, put a little icing on there, and let's finish it off.
That's what it should have been.
And that's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude. I got so many feelings. The other games, I didn't get the feelings with this. With those games that I got with this. They're fun, they're great, they're fantastic. As far as like how much just grandiose and how can the games get bigger and better? It's like you go through these big crazy things that he should not survive.
Right.
And it's like, how could the games get this much bigger and better? And you put this where it's like, there's still a lot of cool stuff in there, but it's more personal.
Right.
And then you throw in, and of course Nolan North plays Drake, and then you throw in, oh god, no, I'm having a brain fart. The guy that plays his brother, the guy that played Joel.
Oh.
In Last of Us.
God, he's a great actor. Period.
God, you throw him in there, and you get these two together. I was blown away by this game. This game has a very special place. And in this generation, I found games that, a lot of games that I was disappointed with, a lot of games that I did like, sure. This game has them all beat so far. And I'm hoping that Last of Us 2 will come in and can join this with this.
I cannot wait.
Because so far, as much as I love Mass Effect, it's not going to be. I don't think it's going to leave me with as good of feelings as this.
Right.
So far, like the reason why I play games is to feel the way that this game made me feel. The way I felt when I played the Mass Effect trilogy.
Right.
The way I felt when I played The Last of Us. The way I felt when I played FF7.
Last of Us
and Chrono Trigger.
Man, that game blew me away. You were like, you will play this now. This is not one of those games where it's like I recommend it. Is you will play this now. This is what you will do, and you will love it. And I'm like, whatever. And then I played it, and I was like, okay, so I love this game. I love this game.
And this is the same because they bring that same characterization and the way they build a story with The Last of Us, where the Uncharted were kind of missing that extra element. And they do it.
They finally bring it in.
And it's like, they're like, well, how can you have a game where they never mentioned his brother before? They kind of get around that. Where it's like, man, it's kind of weird that they never mentioned him before. But I don't care because the relation. I don't care because like that one part of it is the only part that makes you kind of scratch your head. It's like, man, if they're so close, why did he ever mention him in 3 other games? They kind of explain it.
Right.
And they explain why he's not around, and they kind of like it probably would have made sense for him to like mention him in passing, but since he doesn't, and they did this, and it's like it's fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, whatever.
It made me feel a lot of great feelings.
That's what matters.
And that is what matters. So guys, I think that's gonna do it for our episode.
Yeah.
What are some of the games that you've been disappointed by so far in this generation? And on the flip side, what are some that have been like, that haven't, and maybe even, maybe there's room for an episode that we can do down the line once we get some more current gen games that have actually surprised you.
Yeah.
Whereas like maybe you didn't realize it was gonna it's like kind of like The Last of Us, where you didn't expect it to hit you like that.
It was a sleeper. I mean, to be honest, let's look back at the PS3 just briefly. What's The Last of Us? Like, okay, here's this new title that they're putting out, The Last of Us. Okay, what's it about? Well, it's about,
it's kind of like a zombie
kind
apocalypse
of like
type
a zombie
game.
apocalypse with plants, basically, or
With fungus.
And
but,
you're like, oh, cool, that hasn't been done a million times.
But that's just a setting.
And then you start playing it, and you're like, this is pretty good. Like the story, the opening scene. I was just like, how can you do that in an opening scene? Like, you kill a child. You're blown away. You're like, oh my god!
When I replayed the remastered version of that hit me more, because obviously having a kid since then.
Yeah.
You knowing that you'll do anything in your power to keep that kid safe, and then you're helpless.
Oh man, that was rough.
And then how well that's done, and then
the development that, and you know what? If that wasn't in that game, if that opening scene wasn't there, that game would not be that good. I'm sorry, but the fact that he creates that same feeling with
Ellie,
because you could see it. I mean, he slowly, as you progress to the game,
he's so resistant because he doesn't want to feel that way about somebody again, and then lose them. Not only that, he just lost Tess.
Yes, and then you could just see it build and build, and all of a sudden, it's there. He's not fighting it anymore.
After she saves his ass.
Yeah, she fights that guy. That was.
And then after that, his guard is let down completely. It is such a beautiful story, and they brought that same level of storytelling to Uncharted 4, and they basically made an Uncharted game and put that much love into the story, which had awesome. Not yet been done before. I'm not putting anything against the stories of the other three. They're all great in their own right. 2 is probably one of my favorite out of them, and probably as standalone games, 2 is probably still my favorite. But 4, it was a build.
Yeah,
it was a build, and then this was the crescendo, and it was great.
Yes.
Until next time, you can check us out on all of our social media stuff. We're a Game Addicts Play on Twitter, Facebook. I share the episodes and stuff on there. You can find them there. Of course, if you want to subscribe, you can do that too over on iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and of course YouTube, where you can see our pretty faces and sit here and watch me yawn. If you're listening to us,
watch me go to the bathroom.
You can watch him go to the bathroom. But if you were listening, you didn't really hear me yawn. I hope too much. But if you're watching, you saw me.
Yeah.
But with that being said, Thank you guys for listening and watching. Wow, that's a new word. Thank you for watching this episode. And until then, I'm Brando.
And I am Mike.
And we'll see you later.